North Geelong versus the Belmont Lions. Sorry for that.
Kira, I'm on the radio. Just go inside. I'll meet you in a minute. All right, bye.
You can't come up here. Go down. Go see Dad.
It's going to be a long game.
Now it's good afternoon from the Keith Barclay Oval at Osborne Park, North Geelong, home of the famous Magpies. They are hosting the Belmont Lions this afternoon. We are really looking forward to it. These two sides pretty well matched about the middle of the table, and we normally have a bit of a pre-match, no different today, and we have now a man I would say would be a media superstar in the Geelong and District Footy League, the president of the club, Jason Abib. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Rob. How are you?
Put that thing closer to your... Yeah, that's better.
Rob, is that better?
No, I don't think so. Not quite, mate.
We can't quite hear you, but hopefully they can hear us in the studio. While we get the tech, we're right now. Jake,
right.
Good afternoon, welcome. It's always a delight to have you in.
No, it's great. Great to be here, Rob, on this beautiful sunny day in the winter. So, welcome, Wale.
Thanks, Jake. We've quite enjoyable today. Smoke free.
Well, it's smoke free. Robbie's not here. COVID. Thank God.
To show that you have become a media superstar, you're even bringing your own guests,
yes.
which is very important.
Yes.
When you were on last, you talked about how fantastic your junior program is, and you brought one of the reasons for that.
Yes, today I've got Megan Watts with me. As I said before, I come on the last one on the radio, I said I've got two lovely ladies that have taken over and come back to the club. Obviously, everyone knows Megan's husband, which was Brady Watts, was our captain in the 2013 Premiership side. So they've got two young three boys, and they've come back to the club to start our junior structure back up, and all reports that they're doing a sensational job.
So Megan, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Tell us why you'd want to take on a task like that.
I suppose being involved in the club for a number of years, we know the values and visions that are instilled here at North Geelong, and that's where we wanted our children to have their sporting time frame. So we previously were playing out at another club and just thought, we've got the kids that are going to be participating in sport for a number of years, and we wanted to get them back home at North Geelong. So that's where the vision come from.
You say that because I'm new to the understanding how this club works, but it is heavily built on family traditions. It's amazing the connections across families. So you, as a mother,
yes,
would realise the importance of having a good place for your kids to grow up in. So you're well aware of it.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the biggest things. I am working alongside another coordinator, Sarah Bryant, wife of Jarrett Bryant, and we have the boys that, it's just somewhere that they can come of a weekend, spend their weekends with one another at the club, with all the netballers, the other footballers, and just a safe place for them to play sport and grow up in.
What sort of numbers have you got, and what levels of play or Auskick have you got?
We put our focus in the younger year levels, so starting with the Auskicks under 9s and under 10s. We've got a good Auskick crew of about 40 children, ranging from kinder through until grade 4. We've got an under 9s crew which has approximately 18 children, and then our under 10s have 19 children. So we've got good numbers and just hope to be able to move up each year level as we progress through.
My experience with this too is sometimes your best recruiters are the kids, so they go off to school and tell their friends how much fun they have, and then they go home and tell mum and dad they want to do it. I guess that's important to build the numbers.
Yeah, and that's what has happened. We've had our little boys taking notes to their friends at school and asking them to come down, and we had early on in the year had a bring a friend to training, and that's where we got a lot of additional numbers coming in from just the ones that we had already on board, bringing a mate to come and check out the club, and they all are loving it so far, which is really good.
My next question is, between that age group and under 18s, where are you with that, with numbers or teams or?
Well, look, basically with Megan and Sarah, I said, look, we've got to start from scratch.
Yep.
And I've got this question off other clubs, basically the Northern Stars, which way are you going to go this way? And I said, look, from our point of view from North Geelong, we've got to start from scratch, and it won't filter down to our senior level for maybe 5 to 8 years yet, and we understand that. And I think with these two girls coming on board, our under 14s and 16s will just keep going through that progression, but we may have an under 18 side maybe in 4 years' time. But in saying that, all good reports are coming from AFL Barn about how good these girls are going. So that might fluctuate kids to come to North Geelong because it's under our own banner, and these two girls are doing a great job, and that might just filter out. We may have a under 14 side. I don't know.
Yeah, and obviously you're talking about, Robert's talking about the kids at school, and it's just the word of mouth, and obviously people getting around the place. And there are clubs which will find that they can't do what you're doing. Kids drop off. Where am I going to go? Proximity. Gee, let's go to North Geelong, whatever. So you're heading in the right direction. And not only, as I said, not only this club here, but there's a lot of other clubs that are in the same boat at that level just below senior football that they're really struggling with. So, as I said, you've got to start somewhere, and obviously number-wise, you're going pretty well. Yeah,
and look, don't get me wrong, from this Northern Stars stuff, and we tried to go on that a couple of years back, and as I've said to people, why are you coming into the Northern Stars? And I say to them, all right, I'll put you in my shoes. If you get two ladies that are willing to give 120%, would you say, no, I'm going to join the Northern Stars? No, you wouldn't. You'd say, right, these young ladies are going to help me out and get numbers and stuff from scratch. And the proof's in the pudding. They're doing that, and I think they're not going to be one-year wonders. I think they'll be here for a lot of years.
So obviously Jared and Brady are both involved. What other ex-footballers have got involved as well? Is there more involved in it?
Yeah, so our under-9s team, it's coached by Zach Swenison and Matthew Jones, who's playing his 200th game today. Yeah. So they come down, obviously, before they train on a Thursday night to train their under-9s team. They come out Saturday mornings before their matches to coach the kids through their games. Our Auskick crew as well is coached by Brady and Brent Swenison, and we also have a number of senior players every week that come down to help run drills. It does change frequently. Luke Parker is frequent to the Auskick guys as well, but we do see different senior players.
So that's a directive from the senior coach to get these players involved?
Yeah, from Mark. It's from Mark. He wants to see the juniors get going, and he tells them to come down, and Brett Swinnerson posts on the page every week, we need more players, but it's just a common thing for the boys now. They get here at 5:45 and they just jump out there like Megan, and they don't even have to say anything, they just run out and help in drills, so which is great.
And the parents like that. I mean, normally parents will be involved in your Auskick program running drills, but they're able to actually enjoy watching their kids participate. They'll help out absolutely when needed, but they have provided really good feedback how good it is seeing the senior players.
So the sausage sizzle goes right on the Tuesday and Thursday night then?
Well, we've got a chef in and on Thursday night, but I mean it's so good from my point of view, and I haven't 11 years as president, and this year is nothing better than coming here on a Thursday night, and the deck's packed with parents, and the ground is packed with kids just running around, and I haven't seen that for nearly 4 years. So for me, I'm standing back, which as everyone knows, I'm leaving at the end of this year. It's just great that I can see it happen while I have been president. I didn't think that the juniors were going to fold or never come back, but I'm that confident whoever takes over next year has got juniors coming through from here on in.
And Jason, another thing that comes out of this, and you'd be able to appreciate this, Megan, as well, as you invite a child comes and the child's parents come, and the parents get involved on the deck, and next thing you've got your next club secretary or your bar manager out of people you never expected, because they come, they get involved in the club, fall in love with it, and want to help out, just want to put their hand up for something. So as a parent, again, Megan, it's not just a matter of bringing your kid and dropping them off at the ground.
No, absolutely. We've had some families that have recently moved down to the region, didn't know anybody, their children have come and joined the juniors, and we've actually seen one of the parents come and play reserves just to mix and mingle with the guys out there as well. So in that aspect, it's just really nice to see.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So in your last year, you're no chance of a revisitation. Have you got the new president already organised, Jace?
Well, there is a couple in line, but I won't mention names yet. But
it's not me.
It's not Megan. But look, we obviously, I announced it on presentation night last year. So basically, we've got 12 months to look for people in the roles. So basically, myself and Paul Cotter are stepping down, which is Paul's been involved in this club for 40 odd years. He's stepping down, and Kaz Hearn is basically stepping down, our treasurer as well. You know, it's as I said, and to the club, it took a toll on us a couple of years back, the three of us, and we all know what happened there. But I just feel it's time. 11 years is enough. I can look back, and as I said to Gavin last week in the Chuka, I said I can walk out this door at the AGM knowing that what I've done is I'm happy with it, and I've left the place in a good spot.
Yeah, that's a good point, because when we spoke to Heath Mahenman out at Anarchy when you played out there, we were talking about what is a successful club.
Yeah.
Well, you look at what the Anarchy Footy Club does for that community, regardless of whether they win a game or not, they've probably ticked a lot of boxes in what a club is about.
Yeah.
And clearly you are creating, or got such a great history, but you got the club back to being a community hub, and that's a tick.
Oh, yeah. And I can't wait for our next home game, because it's Past Players Day. And a lot of these past players haven't been in these rooms since they've been built. And it's going to bring a smile on my dial, I'll tell you, because before the COVID hit, I was saying we're going to do these rooms because all the questions from the past players, am I going to be alive when this happens? And now I can prove from the pudding it's there, and I'll be so happy for their face to see the smile on their face when they come back.
Just a quick question. I'm looking at the team sheet, and we don't have a Matthew Jones on it.
He's just kicked a beautiful goal.
Oh, so he's out playing his 200 out here.
Yeah, he's playing in a second. So.
That would have been good to see him in the senior game. So, footy-wise, you'd be happy recent weeks. The club's really starting to get a bit of a roll on.
Yep. Yeah, I'll let Mark talk about that when he comes on. We're going very well. We're going very, very well. Last week was pretty good against Werribee, the last game. Look, it was one of the best games they played all year, but they are starting to gel together. Yeah, it's good. We'll chat to Mark. Megan, thank you very much for coming in. It's great what you're doing. It's not just about this club, it's footy. There's so many more women, mothers, fathers, parents getting involved because they want to make an environment, as you said, an environment for my kids to grow up in.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Continued good luck to you and your team, and hopefully in a few years we'll see your work running around here at 2 o'clock.
Absolutely. I can guarantee it. Thanks for having me.
Good on you. All the very best. Really good work. We're just waiting on Mark Hanslow, coach of North Geelong, to come in and have a bit of a chat, but it is starting to be a pretty good environment as he pops in. Mark, good afternoon. Welcome to the Pulse. Good to have you in.
Thank you. Good to be here.
When we saw you last out at Anarchy, it was a win, but it was anything but pretty. But since then, you seem to have got a little bit of a roll on.
Yeah, we're just starting to build a little bit of consistency in that, I guess, the last month, which has been good. So pressure around the footy and just trying to halve the stoppage at the moment. And that's an area that we knew we had to improve on. And, our pressure's gone up a level, which then in turn has resulted in playing the game in our half a bit more.
So will this be the best sort of squad that you've sort of put together the last 4 weeks? Because I know at the start of the year you were getting blokes that weren't playing, COVID hit, there was a few other things, circumstances that changed football, but the last 4 weeks probably more consistent than it's been for the whole year?
Yeah, definitely. Early on, it was probably most weeks we had 7 and one game we had 13 out. From our best, but now, a bit more consistent there with our best side on the paddock the last 3 weeks. So, and that showed in the game. V. Thompson here, leading all day, unfortunately got run over, but then Werribee, I think we had 4 changes from that Thompson game. But blokes who come in have played senior footy early on the year now and are starting to understand what's required and how we want to move the footy, and they seem to be buying in a bit more now, and it takes its time. First year, it's we're still getting to know each other, but we'll get there.
The future, you've got a lot of young kids. I had a chance to catch up with Zach Swenninson during the week. Clearly he's very happy, young group, he sees a future. As far as recruiting goes, you probably still need to do that, but with points situation, you're obviously running pretty tight at the moment. You've got to be pretty careful how you do that. Have you already started to work on some areas of deficiency now for next year?
Yeah, definitely. We've had a meeting last week. We had a meeting as a group to identify exactly what we want to put in place for the rest of the year and for next year as well. So over the next couple of weeks, I'll be meeting with players to get the list tidied up and identify exactly what we need, because obviously with the points, you just don't want to go getting any 3 or 4 pointer. Make sure it's the right one, and you have a reason behind it that they're going to have an immediate impact. So,
Jason, you're going out of club presidency. Any chance of perhaps dropping onto the local AFL Barwon and get some adjustments to how the competition might look?
No. Look, I was going to take over Neville's job. No, I'm only joking. I'm just going to sit back for maybe a couple of years and just relax, because as everyone knows, I've got a permanent van in my Whammer. I can pop down there. But as I was speaking to the boys on Thursday night, and basically they said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm just going to still come to the club. I'm not going to walk away and do nothing, but I'll be still hanging around, and I've got no doubt whoever takes over they'll ask me questions about this and that, but I'll put it. There's stuff in place that will just flow over to the next person.
Yeah.
So.
And the reason I asked that about the points, because I'm looking, you're playing at 39 today, is it?
39 to 44.
39 of 44, and okay, so you've got a bit of room there, but to me that's been a trial, but very messy and ugly, and it needs to be fixed up. Is that something you'd perhaps like to get involved in, a discussion about how that might be fixed in your future?
Well, look that, as I've said to Mark and that the other night, I'm still around, but with that, as we talked about, the players from this year will drop a point. So you've got to put that into calculation.
To make sure you keep them.
Yeah, you've got to make sure you keep them and they'll drop a point. And so you've got to look at that. And look, Paul Cotter, which has been around here for years, he's right onto this stuff. And as Mark will tell you, he knows exactly where. And he knows, and through that meeting the other week, he knows what we've got to get and how we will approach it. So he's been the footy director for a lot of years, and as he said, he's only a phone call away, whoever. But I think the person that will take over is just as smart as what Paul is. So yeah. I think we're
so
right
Mark,
there.
Mark, we spoke to Heath out there, and I'm not a points advocate whatsoever. I know they're trying to even out the competition and all that sort of stuff. We talk about an even playing field with points and all that sort of stuff. You've got 44, some clubs have got 40, when we understand why that is. Where do you think you need to be with the point situation? Do you need to go and ask the league now to say, look, we are making a step backward or forward, sorry. We've got some blokes that didn't play this year, like I'm talking about guys like Darcy Eels and what's his name, Ryan, that went down. Did he go to Bowen Heads or something?
Toby, I think he went, yeah.
Now, if they come back, they're handy blokes, but you still need to improve. As you said, you can go and get one or two, and you've got to be really selective when you do that with the points you've got. How many more points do you need, do you think, just I'm not saying a quick fix, but to be realistic, to really improve you blokes next year?
Yeah, I don't think it's too many more points than what we're on. I just think some players that we get who are twos players from GFL level, and they're charged as a 4-pointer. Some guys, I don't understand it. I think you've got to treat each one like on its merits. I think there's some leagues where they come from, maybe they say a lower league or a higher league. Just if you're a twos player coming across for opportunity, I don't think it should be probably max 2 points. Like, I don't see a 3 or 4 point for a bloke going for opportunity. He's not playing senior footy, especially kids. Exactly. Like, we've had some guys come from Lara for opportunity, and 3 of them playing today, and another one who just signed during the week, Charlie Smith. So, who looks really good. So they come across as a group, and we've tapped into that, and they're excited by the opportunity. They've enjoyed coming down to training. They all come to training for one session and said, yep, we want to sign. We're excited by what's going on, and we've got a good young core group. So I think they just need to look at how many games they've played and what comps. So I think if you're a twos player, pretty much you've been a twos player. So if you're a GFL senior player, fair enough.
Even I go with that as well. And what about kids coming out of under 18 football that can't get a game in their seniors or reserve side?
With these Lara kids at that, they're coming from they're out of that first year out of under 18s, and they come. So they're in GFL. They come to our club and they're 2s and 3s and 4s, and and that's what bugs me with that. And Mark's spot on. I mean, you're getting, if you look at, perfect example is East Geelong, that full forward. He played at St Albans reserves, comes and plays East Geelong. He's killing it.
Yeah, Zach Smith.
Zach Smith, and I mean, why should he come as a 4-pointer when he's played at GFL reserves for most of all the year? He hasn't played at senior level, but he's a very good GFL player. Mm. Yeah. And that's where it kills you.
Just like question one thing that's speaking of killing you, and ironically your opponent today is very similar. Inconsistency. You've been really good in a quarter or a half of a quarter and then fade away badly. Is that a real focus of you as a group to try and get that consistency across the game?
Yeah, it certainly is. That was the main focus at Werribee. Obviously with Thompson we had 3 great quarters, controlled the game, and then to get run over was disappointing for the effort they gave. But Werribee was a solid 4-quarter effort, and we took our opportunities. So that was the difference. I think we just took our chances when they were there. But one thing that we are focusing on is making sure we've just got that consistent energy and just not dropping any. So our bad patches were costing us 4 or 5 goals at a time early in the year. Now we've got that to maybe 2 goals in a row to the opposition. So if we can just keep working on that, being consistent and being harder for longer periods of time, we'll stay in games a hell of a lot more. So
excellent. Thank you, gentlemen. Best wishes today. If we don't get to speak to you before the year's out, Jace, congratulations on your commitment to this joint in your 11 years, and wish you best whatever you do this year. But if you want to roll in media, Grubby's chair's probably available to you.
Well, I just got a message from Grubby. He told me to get out of his chair. I feel, look, there's a big hole there. But no, thanks, boys. It's been great. Thanks a lot.
We'll see you after the game. Best wishes to you both.
Thanks, thank you.
We're going to have Belmont Lions coach Nathan Bissett shortly, but we might go back to you in the studio, Alan, to clear a couple of sponsorship announcements. We'll be back here shortly. This is our GDFL match of the day, North Geelong versus Belmont Lions. Geelong Oval GDFL match of the day here. We have just had a man who's very comfortable behind a microphone in Jason Abib, and another one, coach of the Belmont Lions Football Club, Nathan Bissett. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, lads. How are you? I think Jason would be a little bit more comfortable than I am. He loves a bit of me time.
He does indeed. Good to have you in, and we were, I think it was last year, a corresponding game, Dale. We came here and you kicked 10 goals in a quarter and didn't win the game. We talked about inconsistency in North Geelong, but it's certainly a big bugbear of yours. How are you going chipping away at that problem?
Look, I'd like to say it's going well, but unfortunately with injuries and COVID and stuff like that, it just makes it bloody difficult. But we've got Benny Evans out today with COVID. The family caught it during the week, so there goes your centre half forward marking target. But bringing up a young fella, Jacob, he does all right. He leads up and presents, so hopefully that void won't be too dampened.
Yeah, you've got an improving list. Younger players developing. Some of them have been quite exciting. As a coach, how do you enjoy working with teenagers that are that good?
Look, it's great to watch. They really are. They're a young group that's come through together, and that's what makes it even more exciting because they know how each other play, and they seem to wax really well together. It's nearly sometimes us older boys get out of the way, and the young fellas will show you how it's done. So obviously Brocky Marnie and Jake Wood through the middle, when they go through the middle together, they're quite exciting. With Bailey Trevorrow there as well. He's a bit of a hard-nosed midfielder. He goes about it a little bit differently to the other lads, but they are quite exciting to watch, and definitely bright futures ahead of a lot of them.
So today it's really a must-win. Side's pretty level on the ladder, but if you're going to have a bit of a crack, you just can't afford to lose this one. I suppose the playing group are aware of that, as North Geelong as it should be. So despite your positions on the ladder, we're really excited about watching it. Yeah,
definitely. I think we spoke the other week, Rob, about if you can't make the finals, at least try and shape them, and that's our goal for the rest of the year. And look, whether North are pushing that sort of last spot or not, I definitely believe that this will be a great game. Especially nicely evenly matched, I hope. So if we can just come out and play our brand of footy like I know we can, and play it for a little bit longer than what we have been in previous games, I have no doubt we'll be thereabouts at the end of the day.
Good afternoon to Mark Brady, who's in the box today.
Well, thank you, Robert. It's lovely to be here again. Nath, you and I've had a few chats over the last little bit, and just talking footy and life in general. What does after this year hold for you?
For this year, look, I'm not too sure. I generally take it week by week, but the club I think it's no secret at the moment, the club has decided to advertise the role, which they're well within their rights to do. My contract's up, and I think it used to be a legislation. I think you had to advertise any position that was up at the end of the year. So I'm not too sure.
Some of the clubs actually written into their thing they would do it, but
I know Belmont obviously are one of them because they're going to go and advertise, and that's great. I think, as I said to Spider a couple of weeks back, that you never know who's going to walk in the door. Kevin Sheedy might walk in the door. I doubt it, but he might. So it's a good thing that they've got a great list to work with whoever walks in, and whether it's myself going round again or someone else, I'm not too sure. But as for me, I'll take it a week by week, and if an opportunity progresses for me to excel my coaching in another area, well, so be it.
So what you're saying there is if you don't get the job, you're going to stay on in some role here, or would you want to still go out and be a coach in your own right?
Look, I really enjoy coaching Whale. I really do. I think it's it's great to see the lads get something out and respond to the way I go about my business. I want to coach in the future, and I want to progress my coaching, whether that's above and beyond the GDFL. I hope it is. So if opportunities present themselves down the track for higher accreditation and higher jobs, I'll definitly be taking interest in them.
So you're not an old coach like me and Spider would be, and just go back, kick the kick, and make sure you can do that 100% of the time. Because I still watch a lot of games, mate. I go back and we can argue all the time in the world, but for me, football hasn't changed. You've got to have the ball in your hands, and you've got to be able to kick so far and get it to another place.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it turns over and you're out of trouble.
Look, I tell you what, the way my legs are going at the moment, I don't know if I've got too many more. I'm trying to see out game by game at the moment, let alone the end of the year, but. Like I said, if it's higher footy for me in my coaching aspect, obviously my football will take a back seat because I'm probably not quite up to an 18-game season at a higher standard as I stand here before you. But if I can get the body right, I might be able to play maybe some ballerine or something like that. But I really want to progress my coaching. That's
you don't
goal.
mind sitting back the reviews of a Monday night or a Sunday afternoon when you do them, and does Dad help out with that, or is he?
No, he doesn't. Like I said, he just normally calls me after a couple of cans of a Saturday night and let me know where I went wrong. But no, look, when it comes to that sort of stuff, well, I like to sit back and. I thrive on that. I watch me reviews on a Wednesday or who I've got coming up, and on a Sunday morning I'll get up early and watch the footage if it's been put up of the day before. And I don't like to watch the good quarter, the bad quarters we had. I like to watch the good quarters because the good quarters actually show you what you did right and what you need to do more of. You know, I'm out there on the ground, so I know what we did poorly in those quarters. So. There's a lot of things you don't quite see as a playing coach. So when you go back and watch the footage, it's quite surprising.
So how far do you go with that review? Do you look at every player's stats for the game? Do you do every player, or do you pick a handful of them and then discuss it with them?
Not as individuals, but more as lines. I go probably as far back as lines. So your back line, your forward line, your midfield, and probably take about 3 or 4 key aspects of negatives and positives out of each, and then I'll collate that as a group summary. And give them their feedback accordingly. So to go individually, I don't have the cattle or the coaching staff to go back and do individual players like I know they do at higher leagues. But
I know in the league, I've seen there a couple of times. I'm surprised what Buck goes through there. But Dion is a great assistance to him.
And that's it. He's got Dion there, and obviously Chris Moore as well, who's he's quite a smart man, Maury, and if he's not having a bet or a punt, he'll be watching footy and doing some footy stuff as well.
He
So
doesn't
He might be doing both at the same time.
He doesn't drink anymore, so he's got plenty to go.
Yeah.
Your dad, I'm surprised your dad doesn't help out. He used to be quite busy on a Monday in his playing day.
Yeah, no, look, the old boy and I have spoken, and I think he knows that he's great one-on-one and dealing with players, and he can really bring the best out of players individually when it comes to the modern day game. Obviously, presses and zones and stuff like that are in the current day situation. It's probably wasn't around back in the 90s and early 2000s when he was going about his business. So he lets me sort of deal with all that, and he still offers his advice on certain players and what they can improve on, how they can better themselves.
Well, I think Wales said it right. If you haven't got it, you can't win, can you?
No,
you
that's right.
The game, you can do all your technical stuff, but the basics of the game are the same. You've got to have the ball, maintain possession of the ball to win a game of footy, and that's never going to change in what you do.
Look, footy's a basic game. If you keep it simple, sometimes that can just be the best way to go about it. Sides that try and overcomplicate it and try and play above their means can really come undone. And if you try and teach, especially a young group like Belmont, if you try and teach them too much too early, it just goes over the head. So we've just gone about it little bit by little bit. And the day we finally get our full team on the park, it's going to be pretty exciting. But for now, we'll just keep going about our business. And like you said, today's a must-win game for us because it sort of sets us up for the back end of the season to shape those final series. We've got Thompson and East Geelong in there. If we can, two sides that we played probably a better standard of footy against when we had our full side in. So we've got them coming around again. Days like today really set us up for those potential wins.
Well, mate, we better let you go. 20 minutes till the game starts. Go and rev up your charges, mate, and have that last little bit of a chat.
I will. I've got. I think the boys will be up and about anyway. They really want to win this one. But just a quick shout out to Matty Jones out there, an old friend of mine. 200 games for North Geelong. That's fantastic. He probably should have ticked up a lot earlier if he wasn't surfing, drinking, or injured. So, I think between him and Sid, there's quite a few games played there. Not a lot of goals, but
43, I think. And I can honestly say, having worked with Matty, he never got injured at work, mate. Don't worry about that.
And just a quick shout out to East Geelong, obviously in the passing of Doc too. I knew Doc quite well, and good fella, funny bugger, and just went about his business like every old chap. He's just a really good man. So condolences to them, and we got the black armbands on today for Doc.
Fantastic.
So, thanks very much, lads. I appreciate you having me.
Thanks for your time, Nath. It's always good to have a chat, mate. So good luck today, and get amongst them.
Thank you. Cheers,
Best
lads.
wishes. We'll go back to the boys in the studio to clear a couple of sponsorship announcements. We'll get back and have a quick preview of GDFL round, and we're back here to call the match of the day. This is GDFL football. What is it? The place of local footy, isn't it, Dale? Yep.
Home of local
Thanks,
football.
Al. the day. Mark Brady has joined us. He'll be in the expert commentary chair today in the absence of Grubby, who we hear is perched back on the couch. He has the drinks and the nibbles beside him, the big full-wall television screen, watching this on YouTube. So if you want to do exactly the same, you can do that. Go to the YouTube channel, put in Geelong and District Football League, and you'll get a telecast of this and listen to our brilliant commentary through the afternoon. Hey, gentlemen, we've got some other matches today. We have to do it quickly. We haven't got a lot of time, but Geelong West are hosting Corio. How do you see that going, Mark?
Oh, look, I think Geelong West win that game relatively comfortably, mate. There's been a lot of spoken about Corio are probably doing things the right way. They're trying to rebuild from within rather than recruit. A lot of clubs I see doing that now. Obviously, salary cap and points determine how you do it, but West are travelling very, very nicely, and they want to hold their spot in the top five, which is getting very close. They need to win this and win this well.
Yeah, they were obviously a little bit disappointing out at Inverleigh, Dale, with that. We'd seen them sort of miss out on an opportunity at Belpost Hill. They bounced back and beat Eastwell, but struggled out at Inverleigh, I hear.
Yeah, who's that, Geelong West?
Geelong West.
They beat Inverleigh, Rob.
Sorry, wrong. No, the week after. Who did they tackle?
Belpost still beat them.
Yeah, Belpost Hill. Did they win the week after? Is that the only game we've had?
I can't remember, mate, but I know that Geelong West did beat Inverleigh out there, didn't they?
No, East Geelong beat.
And Geelong West beat them too, didn't they? I'm pretty
No,
sure.
Inverleigh kicked 9 goals in a quarter.
Oh,
and
that's
then
they did too.
Yeah,
You're right there.
Thompson.
Oh, that was it. That was
Won by
right.
3 points at the end. Thompson did.
That's right. So,
Jeez, and you blokes call the footy.
Yeah, no.
I sit in a little studio box between 8 and 9. I know more about it.
I should have just looked at my notes here. I've got it right here. 8 to 8 goals 10. No, you're right. That's right. Yeah, no, you're right there. They were, Rob. You're 100% right there. And I was actually speaking to Scotty Stevens this week, and he said the Inverleigh Magpies are going pretty well out there.
Yeah,
so.
Thanks, Scotty.
I can see why Grubby's known as the brains of this operation.
No doubt that he is.
Grubby.
Yeah. So you've got to fill a very big void today, Mark.
Really?
Yeah, no, look, Geelong West, as I said,
in a quarter. And sorry, what?
Geelong West were a little bit down on their previous form. They need to win this game. They'll win the game. Again, Corio have been good. They'll stay in the game till half time, but it's their time after half time that they really struggle. So very interesting to see where this game will go this afternoon. But at home, you would think Geelong West would win. And
you saw Inverleigh at their very, very best, and they've got to go to Anarchy, who aren't travelling that well. That could get messy.
The worst thing here of this game is that Inverleigh, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, they get back. I think Casey Meehan comes back in, Mays is back in, Manganelli's back in. There was someone else coming back into the side. So for Anarchy, it's not good for them. But they're slowly going to progress to get a few more back too. I think Circuits haven't played since the last Bannockburn Inverleigh clash, and he could be due about that same time to come back into that side. So, but again, that's a long time to be out of football. So whether he comes straight back into their senior side will be interesting to see how Buck manages that.
I'd suggest that's why probably Casey's. I mean, really, you'd say to Casey, have another week off, but you haven't played footy for 4 or 5 weeks. It's probably a good game for him to come back in.
Yep.
I think, as people know, I've known Casey for a long time. I think he's probably the best footballer in Berlin. It's probably shown a little bit because he's so versatile. The games that they've dropped against East Geelong, there's probably voids that he would have filled in his role, which would have, maybe mitigated circumstances. Not saying that the sides who beat them didn't deserve to win, but he just gives them that variety. He can play anywhere. So today's probably a day for him to come back and just get touched on the footy and have a feel and run through. He said the other bloke's missing. Circuit's the same. Young as well. You've got a few out there who will just completely keep dominating.
I don't know whether I didn't actually see the teams. Hutchie was another one that was supposed to be coming back.
No, I haven't read the sides either. So.
And I reckon did Ryan Robinson? I don't think played out at Inverleigh that day either. Did he? I think.
No, they've got a few out.
Yeah. So and Mick Gros was the other one. So they've got quite a number of players that can come back into their senior side. So they're only getting better. So the bye probably couldn't have come at a better time for them. I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah. Very excited about the game up the highway at Winchelsea. Spoke to Butch Shaw this morning. They're certainly really up and about after beating Belpost Hill, and I reckon they'll fancy themselves again East Geelong on a beautiful day like this. Can they do it though, Braids?
Look, I don't know. I think East Geelong are travelling very, very well, and if they want to. As you look at the ladder, Sneak, you look at how you've got to win these games. The Winch are coming. I think Grubby has said all along that it'll take Winch a few games to get together. New coach, new players coming in and out. They do turn over a lot of players. Up at the Gun Club, they've got to be a fair show at home. Beating Belpost Hill at Belpost Hill is no easy task, and they did it. They held on at the end, but it doesn't matter. You win by a point, you still get the 4 points. I just think East Geelong, with the emotion, and the players have just stopped for a minute silence. I think with the emotion, they'll channel that in the right way. It won't be do it for Doc. It'll be, just make sure we're doing the things that he wants us to do. I think he still will get the chocolates up there. They just need to if they want to stay in touch with the top two.
I agree. I think they've got too much to lose in this game of football, and a game like this is not one they would expect to go out there and win easily, but I think they can win the game of football. And again, from all of us here to East Geelong Footy Club, Doc was a great bloke. He followed Ricky O'Toole around at a few clubs. He's one of those blokes, and we know every footy club, there are great people involved in it, but he's the type of bloke that could go and talk to anybody, anytime, any place, and it didn't matter who you were, what you did at the club. He would just go and have a yak to you, and obviously he enjoyed the bit of a yak and a yarn and a bit of a joke and everything else that goes on with life. So again, from everyone here in the box, to both East Geelong and to his family, we know this is going to be a slow old process to get yourself up and about again, but we'll take small steps forward, and hopefully by the end of the year everything will be a little bit sweeter for them all.
Just quickly, the last few, Thompson have got a danger game. Werribee starting to get a few back, lost disappointingly last round. Are they any chance to beat Thompson at Thompson?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I think Thompson, they're getting players back now. And they're starting to probably the sleeping giant, I suppose you could say. They're flying under the radar. I just think they're going to be far too strong for Werribee.
They need to start winning, though, don't they? They're in a situation where I don't think they can afford to drop too many more games between here and the end of the season. If you're looking at your Bellpost Hills, your Bannockburns, your Geelong West and East Geelong, we think Inverleigh will probably maintain and finish top spot. Those next 4 or 5 spots are still up for grabs, and they can only fit so many in, but they're going to. I think they've got a run coming up very shortly where I think they've got both Inverleigh, Bannockburn, Belpost Hill. So their game today is really important to them. So I think they need to win.
They did beat Belpost Hill first game of the year, but things have changed since then. So
again, as I said, that wasn't a really great game of football to gauge us on. I don't reckon either, Spidey. As I said, footy's funny. You look at, as I said, Belpost Hill. They go out and beat East Geelong. They beat Geelong West, and then
lose to Winch.
So it's just funny. I think you've got to be up and about, and as I said, if those sides are up to about number 7 at the present time, it can all bloody do some damage on the day.
Well, we've got 8 versus 9 here in the Pulse Radio match of the day, but I reckon the real match of the day is at Bannockburn, where they host Belpost Hill, who have had their pants pulled down and get a good smacking by Winch last outing, and I reckon they'll be up and about.
I don't know if 5 points is a good smacking, but losing at home would hurt. Would really hurt. They do pride themselves on, building the fortress up there. Bannockburn and Belpost, it's never really mattered where the ladder positions are. Even back to our time, I suppose, Dale, it were always really good contests. There's always just something about it that used to match up reasonably well against each other. I think Timmy Barton's back today for the Hill.
He'll be a bonus.
He'll be a bonus for him, but again, hasn't played for the year. I just think that Bannockburn have got, if they're going to put the pressure on Inverleigh, I think that they'll just have enough to get over the line today.
Does Will Ford come back today as well? Because he only got 1 week, didn't he? Or did he get 2?
He got 2.
He got 2.
Oh, so he'll be out again today, wouldn't he? I think
he'll be out today too. So one before then the bye.
That's probably did hurt him up that day against Wintlessing, their own side. So, getting him back into that side and Timmy Barton, that allows Cozzy then to be the 3rd best forward or get the 3rd best defender. It makes a difference to their structure as well. So, pretty important these blokes coming back into the side, and now is the time that you need to get them up and running.
I think Pagey's back too, and you got obviously Dill Whitney back after the bye. He had 2 weeks off as well. So 2-week holiday as well.
What's interesting about Belpost Hill, they played a game that really stopped West and East from running, and they were able to beat both of theirs. Bannockburn play a similar tight game, so it's really going to be a slog.
They have one out there before. So
they have, they have.
It's not beyond them, but I think Bannockburn, I agree. At the moment, it's probably playing a little bit better football. Well, we looked at them against Werribee, and you wouldn't have thought that was a great game of football, but it was a ripping game of football, and Bannockburn just had too much firepower in the end to get over the top. But, as I said, that's how easy this competition can be.
Well, it's the one thing about Bannockburn too is they've got a hard cricket pitch in the middle, so there's no glue pot like a lot of other grounds around Geelong with the weather we've had. So the ground should be pretty good out there and firm, and the running game will be a key. Now, for me, if I was coaching, I'd have Timmy Barton starting at centre half back, not in the forward line, because you want him running out the ball, and looking that way. I think that's a better way to get it. I just don't think anyone's got. I know Bo McNamara is probably the premier fullback getting around, but I don't think you've got anyone to stop Kieran Fulton when he goes forward. And that, to me, will be the key out there.
Players almost positioned now. Gentlemen, here, match of the day, North Geelong versus Belmont Lions.
A lot to ride, and just listening to the chat, Stan, look, I just think that North Geelong are starting to look a lot more settled. There's a lot of changes both sides. Obviously, North Geelong's twos have been struggling a little bit too, but I just think North will win today at home.
Dale?
Look, again, it's pretty hard for me. I think North Geelong, but I don't think the margin will be all that great. So let's hope we can see a great contest.
Siren's gone and we're away here. Dale Smith, take it away.
We have the ruckman in the middle of the ground. It's going to be North Geelong, where he actually don't get the first touch, but there's a free kick being given, and it's going to go to Davis. Davis gets a handball out wide, and it's Swenison running the ball into the forward line. That's Zach, and he goes short. Mark is taken out there. They go quickly. That was Tompkins. He goes back quickly to the forward line. Mark is not taken back of the contest. Khabib. That's a nice roving off the pack, and he kicks his first goal, and that's taken, I reckon, less than 20 seconds to kick. So it'd be nice to have the clock here, but Eric probably just couldn't make it down the highway this afternoon, and probably the first time I'll ever dig. Might be the last.
Now, Mark, there's people who've been credited for clever roving of the pack, but that was an accident. It literally fell in his arms.
It fell into his arms, mate. That's just completely fell. Hey, right spot at the right time, running forward, mate. That's what you want. No easy goal to kick than running open goal with no one there. Love it. I'll get a clock off my phone for you, mate, if I can find it.
Remember, we're on air and there's no beat button in the box.
You better keep going, Dale. You've hardly warmed up after
that's right.
Nothing there at all.
So we've got Evans doing the ruck work, as we said, and Davis is also there for North Geelong. Ruckman go at it. This time it's tapped down by Evans, comes out the back corridor. It's pretty slippery in that centre pitch there. A lot of players, as I said, we probably haven't got the right boots on this afternoon.
We'll find out soon.
Yes, no changing direction out there. So the ball from the contest, there's a bit of a push in the back. Free kick has been given. Bissett, and he is going to be the recipient of the free kick. And now he's talked the umpire into a 50-metre penalty. So this will nearly put him in range, I would think. He can go back and kick for goal. So a quick reply on the Belmont cards, if he can kick straight. Oh, no, he's only taken to the 50.
Wouldn't buy real estate off this bloke, mate.
No, I don't think so.
Short-changed.
No.
Anyway, it is what it is.
35 maybe.
Yeah,
so it's a Belmont 50. That's about the size of the 50-metre square at Belmont. 50-metre arc at Belmont.
So Nathan Bissett, as he said, I reckon now outside range, takes the advantage, goes long to the goal square. Davis is back or in front. Mark, has it been taken? Yes, it has. And it's going to be taken there by... Is that
Bailey Trevorrow?
Trevorrow, yes. Yes. Good contested grab.
So he's going to be marking or kicking from basically the point of the top of the square here. Left footer, kicks that goal, and the umpire stands, looks straight back over his head, and there is the quick response. So it is all tied away, 1 goal apiece, and we have gone just over 2 minutes. Come on, a fan, first quarter first quarter scoreboard.
Yeah, look. I think Bisso, a bit far out, but you're probably right, Dale. The boots, the whole lot. It didn't seem like you trusted his footing when he had that, even though he was on the grass area, wasn't trusting his footing. So maybe they need some of the older screw-ins back out there.
Was that a bit of disrespect for that skinny young fella up there that no one bothered to punch from behind? Because
well, when you're brought up, mate, that's what you're taught to do, isn't it? He just floated to the front of the pack and had 2 grabs at it, so you get 2 goes at knocking you out of his hand, and they didn't. So I don't think the coaching staff will be overly impressed with that.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
I would have thought you killed the ball, and no one did. Both had like part of the Red Sea.
Back in the middle, Tom Davis, who has been a very good player for North Geelong all year, and we've got Jed Evans from Belmont. Davis gets up and taps it down beautifully, clears Jewel. He kicks forward out to in the direction of Tompkins. It's well clear of him. It's running towards the boundary line. Tompkins gives it a little nibble, doesn't quite go over. Players jumped on the boundary line, on the ball right beside the boundary line. That's now been pushed over. They'll have a throw in the forward pocket. North Geelong in attack, scores level at this stage, 1 goal each, and we are 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. The Common Nafeen Hotel first quarter. Evans slaps it down right in front of him. Ball comes over the back. Swenison, that's Zach Swenison from North Geelong, grabs it. He's tackled immediately. Ball bobbles out of hand and gone out of the boundary line, over the boundary line again. Another throw in. It's about 60 metres around from North Geelong's goal. They're attacking, and all players look really up and about. It's quite heavily contested around the ball, as you expected to be at the start of a game on a beautiful sunbathed Keith Barclay Oval at North Geelong. No one gets a tap out there. Evans picks up the crumb and passes back to Bissett. He quickly kicks, but it's Zach Swenison from North Geelong gets it. Hand passes to Tompkins. He gets it back to Swenison, kicks it into the square, but there for the Belmont Lions is Mark Renton, marking easily in defence. Short kick from him, finds Bissett on his own. Bissett kicks out wide into the wing. That neat little kick, can't hold on the mark there is Jarks, comes over the back of the pack, quick kick forward for the Belmont Lions coming out for North Geelong, kicking off the ground. There is Farrell comes through, he hand passes the ball, bobbles out the back, and it's Coleman for the Belmont Lions, kicks forward over the top of the pack there, falls down the ground, players pushing and shoving, looking to get possession of the ball. Let's keep bobbling out again, dragged in under again, comes out again, and the players are hurrying into it there, trying to get hold of the ball, kicked off the ground by Trevorrow, but the umpires found a free kick to North Geelong, and that
could be Bruns possibly.
Looks like Henderson back there, is it? No,
Bruns.
it was
Bruns, yes.
Bruns kicks out into the forward pocket, ball comes back, and North Geelong through Jewell, kick down to the wing. Evans drops a very simple mark, but tries to get it out to a teammate. Jenkins comes in, Tompkins comes in, he can't get away either. Pack of players on the ball, and I think the umpire will be, no, it's bobbled out again, and they're going hard at it again, but this time the umpire said we'll be forced to ball it up. It's right on the point of the square. Belmont Lions slightly in attack, and we are almost 6 minutes into the Common Nafeen Hotel first quarter.
And the wide open space is being used well.
They most certainly are.
So the ball from the contest comes out, and it's Allen that kicks the ball back into their forward pocket, runs toward the boundary line. Beecroft is out in front, takes it back and over the line, so we're going to have a throw in to take place some 30 metres around from the behind post. East Geelong attacking. Sorry, East Geelong. Belmont Lions. They've
got a dose of me.
Yeah.
Started well.
Yeah, no, we have.
Oh, well.
The ball thrown in again from the contest. It's picked up out there. I think that's Buse, and he is tackled very quickly. And the umpire will come in and set things up at the top of the 50-metre arc. Still in the forward half for the Belmont side. Again, Ruckman go at it once again. Ball comes from that contest. Again, they work hard, but are tackled. High, says the umpire. Free kicks going North Geelong's way. Jewell again, it is. And he's played pretty well and started nicely. Kick outside, goes nicely to the centre wing. Mark is taken out there.
It's like Henderson, I think.
And he now delivers the ball towards the half forward. He was up. Oh, he had a fair go at it. Was it a legitimate attempt? I'm not too sure, but the ball comes out. It's picked up out there, this time by Barsic. Barsic gets around, gets a handball away. Handball comes back inside, goes back to the big fella there in Evans, goes back outside. They continue to run, which is good. It's positive football, but unfortunately the ball turns over. Picked up there by a bib, and he's tackle brought to ground. And the umpire has said he will take possession of it inside the centre square.
Ferocious start. Good pressure from both sides. It'd be interesting to see if they can maintain it all the way through. It's a big ground, the sun's shining, so it'll be a long day.
So the ball is in the contest, picked up, and it was coming out. Well, it didn't come out, and it's going to be a free kick, and it's going to go to Humphrey. So Humphrey now delivers the ball out wide, and the mark has been taken again. It's Jewell in some space by himself. Umpire calls him to play on. He handles back inside, puts his teammate in Davis under a bit of pressure, got boot to ball, went back out looking to Beecroft. Ball goes over the boundary line, and the umpire will say, let's have a throw in on centre wing. Unfortunately, the far side of the ground, so again, bit of a struggle here.
It's a long way over there.
Been busy out there, the boundary umpire too.
It's amazing how often it happens on the other side of the ground. Grab his binoculars would be handy right now.
Probably his time clock too.
Yes, so the ball now comes back inside, and it's Jewell once again, runs and kicks long into their forward line. Gasper is in front, going back. Mark is not taken. Good contest, picked up by Gasper, got the handball outside, goes to Best. Ooh. Best tries to barge his way through, got through the other side, picked up it again, kicks towards goal. And I think that was a bib once again, and it's through for a minor score. So now 1-1 North Geelong, one straight goal to the Lions.
Just finding himself in the right spots again, young Mitch, isn't he?
Yep.
Just knows where to play, smart. So, it's a bruising contest at the moment. Very willing.
So Jubba's doing the kicking in duties from the fullback. He decides to play on now. This to better comes clubroom side. Again, Evans can't take the mark. Ball runs back towards the boundary line. Good contested ball there. And we'll have another throw in to take place this time in between half forward and centre wing. Marnie comes onto the ground. Evans doing the ruck work. He's going to hold front position. Davis just sitting in behind. Now he moves himself to the front. It's probably good work. That's where the ball's going to land. He kicked it out of the air. It goes into their half forward line. Ball runs through. Picked up, or Jewell was going to pick it up. Couldn't clean it cleanly. Ball going back over the boundary line, and we're going to have another throw in to take place.
He's been everywhere, Jewell, so far, hasn't he?
There's a free kick. Not too sure what the free kick was for.
I don't know.
Did it come off a boot or something?
Must have come off a boot, yeah.
Anyway, so they decide to go across the goal. Dangerous, but the kick's okay. It came from McPherson to Bissett. Bissett short again to Jubba. Jubba further across the field. He's got a player in the space by himself. He didn't pick it up cleanly. Buse went low. Now, not too sure whether that's actually a free kick, is it? If he goes...
It was clumsy, if anything, Dale. Probably the way we can put it, it was clumsy.
So the ball comes in quickly, and that's a good lead up and kick, and the mark has been taken out there by Best. He was quite good against Stanicky today. We saw him out there. Got a few possessions. And he started okay here at the moment. So he's only got a distance of about 20 metres to work with. Bit of an angle. And
no excuses today, Dale.
No, he couldn't get too many, Spider. Steps in, kicks that goal. Going to go across the face and will just be good enough for a minor score. That will move North Geelong on to 1-2. They lead the Belmont Lions one straight goal, and we've ticked over 10 minutes first quarter.
Bissett takes a mark in the back pocket from the kick out. He's been very busy for the Lions so far. He kicks back across goal and doesn't quite make the target, but Jubba picks up on the bounce, kicks down. That's a poor kick, hasn't quite made it over the back of the pack. Best comes in, keeps the ball alive for North Geelong. Kicked into the forward line, but coming through is Jubba. It's a scrubby kick out to the half-forward flank, and coming through to take the mark for North Geelong is Fisher. So he's just outside, about 60 metres out. Long, low drop punt into the forward line, looking for Habib. Goes over the back of the pack. Jewel, who's been very busy, he's got hold of the ball again, trying to break tackles. Finally gets it out, but I think the umpire said you had long enough.
Plenty of chances to get rid of that one. So
and, the Belmont Lions will take the free kick deep in defence. And that's Smith. Smith kicks out to the forward pocket and marked there by a teammate who I can't recognise because it's a long way away over there.
Can't tell either.
Short kick down the line and coming across to take the mark there is Evans. He kicks in across. Teammate gets it, but tackled immediately. Ball bobbles out. North Geelong pick up the crumb, but comes back towards the Lions. They kick further down the line. 3-on-1, but that's East who win it. Kick it, Belmont Lions, kick it forward, but North Geelong's defence working overtime back there, and coming out is Farrell, who eases the pressure, kicks out to the half-forward line. I think that's Henderson out there, kicks down the line, and coming in to take a very strong mark in front of the pack there, I think is Marnie for North Geelong. Short kick from him to Buse. Buse picks it up on the bounce, kicks down the line looking for a teammate, but goes over the back of the pack. This is very scrubby, kicking out of defence. Jewel gets it again, he's tackled again, and the umpire says you've been caught with the ball again. So repeat of his last.
Probably very reflective of 8th versus 9th, not taking a lot of time when they got possession of the ball to make sure they're hitting targets.
Yes, a bit scrubby, so Lions get it across and taking the mark. For them is Jennings at centre half back, he kicks out in the wing. And the ball marked there by McElhenney. He kicks down the line and Jarks comes out. He's too far out to score. Wheels around on the right foot. Kicks deep into the forward line in front of the pack there. And I thought was taking a mark. The umpire said not.
I think they spoiled each other.
I think they both had a bit of it, yeah.
Grabbed the ball.
Might have had a bit each. That's why he didn't call it. But no one but the Belmont Lions touched it in that. So
no talk.
We'll have a throw up there. It's Wood. He palms it down, but coming out from North Geelong is Beecroft, I reckon. He's in the back pocket looking for some support. The umpire has blown the whistle over the boundary line.
Smart play. Nowhere to go. No one to kick to.
Right in front of the famous Alf Clark cricket training facility. I'd like $1 for every run he made, babe.
Well, yeah, there'd be a few there, mate. Don't worry.
A few there, right?
Oh, star.
Ball's punched down to the front of the pack by Davis. It's Zach Swenenson and Jarks doing battle. Jarks wins out, but he can't break clear. Tackled immediately. And we're going to have a free kick, I reckon.
Another ball up.
The umpires are just swapping position. I saw him running down towards the forward line. So Davis loses out there. Zach Swenenson picks up the crumb, kicks down the lines, close to the boundary line, over the back of the pack. The umpire has blown the whistle correctly, and it did bobble out of bounds briefly. And
tried to stay in.
The old umpire was right onto the job, and we'll have a throw in front of our commentary position here at the Keith Barclay Oval at North Geelong.
Good to see the play on this side of the ground for a change, mate.
Much easier.
Yes.
Take advantage, Dale.
Yes, that'll be good. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Evans doing the ruck work, and Davis, as I said, we're not too sure the backup men will be today. Ball, always should have been an interference, I would have thought, but the ball comes out. Again, this is Evans, this is Jack that's got the ball, but it's turned around by North Geelong. They go back forward. Tompkins over the top. Good mark. He's up and he takes a good grab on centre wing. Looks to go back inside. Good lead up. Paramanov comes up and he also takes a mark looking for runners outside. Call to play on now by the umpire. Goes quickly into the forward line. Again, Habib sitting off the contest. Ball doesn't come out. Mark has been taken out there by Renton. So a good strong grab there. Goes across the goals and that's okay. Mark is taken out there and this by McElhenney. He goes further afield. Again,